What we keep talking about community, what kind of community or just resources exist? I mean, if you don't know who's ace, how are you finding people?
Yeah, right. That's a great question. A lot of the stuff I found so far has been online.
Hmm.
Like I found a lot of, I know a lot of asexual people here in Austin, and again, it comes down to like the queer groups accepting ace people, and because we have those spaces, I get to meet a lot of people that maybe other people wouldn't get to meet, as like an asexual person. But like we have Avon is one of the biggest ones. It's probably the oldest, I think, like the longest standing like asexual online community. It's got a lot of like resources, for like media and things like that. But there's also a really, really big online community there. It's like remember the old school forums, like the BB code ones? It's kind of like that, and it's still going, and there's like tens of thousands of people on it, and like it's got like little subsections where people can talk about asexuality, they can talk about their relationships, and there's also like forums there for like partners or allies, even family members. And then there's a bunch of things where people just make memes and talk shit, and it's great.
The
And
basis of any modern day community, sharing
memes
memes and
is
talking
it's the
shit.
currency of emotion. But there's also like a lot of meetup groups too. Like you can find those through the Avon stuff, or if you're like, I guess like meetup.com, you can like look it up. There's like different like meetup groups. Obviously not right now because COVID.
Sure.
But like I think I've got a link as well for like the Avon stuff. But like the community there is like a really good place to start. I know there's a lot of very active like ACE community members on things like Tumblr or Facebook. Like if you put into whatever search your social networking thing has like asexual, you'll find it. There's even one on Fat Life. Um, like there's a surprising amount out there. Like I know that like last year, not happened this year because COVID, there was like a big international asexual meetup that was in I think it was in the Netherlands, Astrid. But yeah, like people from all over the world like flew in and had like picnics and hung out for like a week in another country. So
Wow.
there, and I think Pride London last year had an asexual night where they had like an entire space dedicated to the ace community, like hang out and mingle. So stuff is there if you can find it. It's kind of, you got to kind of dig sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I can maybe like link to some people worth following, like some of the other activists and stuff who will talk about more about like in-person things that they're doing. And I think campus groups too, if you're like in school, like a lot of college campuses have like groups. Sometimes you can connect like the LGBTQ plus communities, sometimes included in those. Like there's a lot of different ways to network. It just takes a little bit of digging sometimes.
Yeah, and we'll definitely make sure to link to Avon and any other groups you want to recommend to us in the show notes to this episode. So I'd encourage people to dive a little deeper and check those out, even if this isn't you. If you yourself are just wanting to be a good ally, wanting to sort of experience pieces of that community with, respect and kindness for the people who exist there and who rely on those spaces.
Like actually,
And
like sorry,
I just wanted to
say,
say, even if you don't think that it's you, but you're curious
Mhm.
for some reason, it might be because it actually is you, and you just don't know it yet. I know
that used to be me.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's really my next question. I have no doubt that in this broad audience, there is somebody for the first time going, "Oh shit, okay." And I'm super curious. What would you say to that person right now? Where would you direct them? Or what? First of all, it's going to be okay. We're super glad you found us. What
That is
next?
usually the first thing. A lot of it is, it's very confusing. Like one, like we talked about some of the other definitions. It's like, well, do I fall here, here, or here? And depending on how far you've got in life with like relationships and everything else, there can be a lot to unpack. Like you're trying to prove a negative, not a positive. It's not like I suddenly like girls in a way I hadn't noticed before. It's like there's no suddenly anything. It's just a continuation of the no. So that makes it difficult. But also there's a lot of societal expectations. Like for wanting of a better term, like masking, which is used in like neurodiverse communities, like where you kind of adopt certain behaviors, like from like the sort of general mainstream culture, sometimes subconsciously. So sometimes like people might think, well, I really like ... And then you have to kind of like re-examine that, like, did you like that? Or was it an expectation that was put on to make you try it and try and put yourself into a mold that you weren't going to fit? And that's been one of the things a lot of people have a really hard time with. Like, if you don't know that not wanting sex is an option, a lot of people will get into relationships and you just keep sort of doing it. Like, people will have like a lot of sexual history sometimes before they figure out that they're asexual, and trying to dig through that, it's like, well, that was fun, but was it for me, or was I trying to make my partner happy, or was it because I felt like this was an obligatory part of a relationship? And sometimes that's a lot to unpack and a lot to like dig through and go through, and it takes like a whole lot of navel gazing. But I recommend like going to places like Avon, reading, first of all, like the basics. Like, there's a lot of stuff about like the different orientations and how that might feel, how that might play out, and then just talking to the community at large. Like, whatever your story is at least like 100 people who've got that same story, and they might have different takes on it, and listening to their experience might help make sense of your own. Like, there's a lot of not asexual people in the community, and I learned so much from these amazing like allosexual people, because normally people don't want to talk about like sex 101, like explaining how they feel like they would if you were a naive child who knew nothing of the world. But like, sometimes that's what you need. Like, it took someone really talking about their experience with sexual attraction and what they wanted for me to really, really get that I did not feel the same way at all. Because otherwise, it's like the whole define the relationship. You're just assuming we're all on the same page. And it's not until someone really talks about it in like an almost ridiculously basic level that I was like, no. So I find people you can talk to and explore that, and maybe it'll ring true, maybe it won't, but it's always worth, listening and asking, right?
Yeah, you compared it to being colorblind, and that idea of having like
Right.
a community of other folks to compare notes, even if it is as simple as like, okay, so what color is this fruit? And that's
Like, no,
different from this fruit, right?
That's green. You're like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's
Yeah, no, I think that's great. Thanks so much.